Hey guys, welcome to the Cup of Nurses podcast with your hosts Peter Findero and myself, Matt Slarchik. This is a podcast where we tackle hot nursing topics one conversation at a time. And today we'd like to let you guys know about our affiliate that we did. We partnered up with Whoop, and we're proud to have them as a affiliate with the podcast. So can you tell us a little bit about that, Peter?
Sure. I mean, I personally been using Whoop for probably a solid 2 months now, maybe even approaching three, and it's awesome. So basically, like Whoop transforms how individuals understand their bodies. Whoop is the only 24/7 wearable technology that measures the everyday stressors both inside and outside of work and training. Whoop measures physiological data related to sleep, which includes your quality, the duration, and your consistency. Also measures strain, your internal load from external stressors, and then also checks up on your recovery, which is your readiness to perform. Whoop uses these three key metrics to call out areas of improvement and reinforce positive habits. Like I've basically, like for Whoop, before I wake up, I kind of get into the mindset of how do I feel? How do I think I slept? Because my sleeping schedule ranges from 4 hours to 8 hours to the occasional 12 hours that somehow I just like pass out and just wake up 12 hours later. But like I kind of gauge myself on how I feel. So like on a scale of 0 to 100%, 100%, I probably feel 100% maybe once in a while. I don't always feel 100%, but I kind of give myself a number. And that is actually pretty close to whatever Whoop pulls out of my sleep, which is pretty amazing. Like in the beginning, it was kind of iffy because it has to calibrate to like your body and your heart rate and just how you do stuff and how you react to things. But after you wear it for like, I'll probably say solid 2 or 3 weeks, it's actually pretty accurate, man.
Yeah, I've had it since January, so it's been over 5 months, and I find it very accurate. Where they say it reinforces positive habits, and one of them was sleep that I really needed, and that helped me recalibrate. And you're right, like if you had a lot of strain the day before and a lot of physical activity, when you wake up and you feel sore, you're like, okay, hey, I'm not fully recovered, and it correlates with whatever the band shows you, and it's pretty cool, and we'll talk about it more.
Yeah. Go ahead.
And in today's episode, we wanted to tell you guys the life outside of scrubs. We're two male nurses and we don't always, work night shift. We're not always picking up shifts. We don't always just do OT. We do things outside of the hospital, and we're willing to share with you guys our habits and routines and things that we do. So this is more of a nonchalant episode that me and Peter will kind of share and talk about.
Yeah, like personally, when I first started being a nurse, I used to pick up a lot of overtime. I used to like live in the hospital for the most part. Then I kind of went to burnout, and now I don't really. Well, before COVID, I wouldn't pick up very often. Now I pick up. I try to pick up like once per pay period, so like once every 2 to 3 weeks. I try to pick up just because you got a little bit of higher incentive. Before COVID, we didn't really have much of incentive to pick up, just besides like your regular overtime rate. But now you get an overtime rate plus a little extra if you help out on the COVID units, which it's a nice little incentive to pick up. But normally, like I usually wouldn't pick up. Like, I'm serious. Like it's just like that one extra day, even though it's your fourth shift, which doesn't seem like a lot. Like, hey, you worked 4 days out of the week. That's not too bad. But it literally drains. It literally drains you, and then it makes your week feel so much shorter.
You are right. And that's what I'm actually going through right now is like, for example, this week I want to pick up a shift, right? But this has been my work schedule for the past like week, basically. I've worked 3 shifts. I was off 1, back for 2, off 1, and now potentially I'm back tonight, but I'd be back for another 2. It's like I haven't had a solid day off, a full day off in a very long time. And it catches up. It's exhausting. And outside of like life, everything that we do and everything that I want to do for myself, I just feel like I'm chasing time always. And that's the thing about picking up 12s, It's like people think that we just work 3 days a week and we have 4 days off and we have all this time in the world. But really, like sometimes we're just catching up on our recovery.
Mm-hmm.
And, like you work a 12-hour shift, you might sleep in a little bit. I know you're big on waking up early and trying to, get a workout in and like sleep 4 or 5 hours if you do your stretch. I've done it, but I do feel it the next day. Like it catches up with you, man.
Mm-hmm. Most definitely. Like because I don't know how you do it or how majority of people do it, but I still work out even though I do like a 3 in a row or 4 in a row. So like me going to work and working out, and that's usually my workout's like minimum of 1 hour. Usually it's like an hour and a half to 2 hours, depending on what I'm doing and depending on how quickly we get through it. But I literally work out every morning when I come out of work. And then guess what? I go to sleep, eat, make my lunch, and I go back to work. It's like a cycle. So like during a 3-day or during a 3-work-day stretch or 3-night of work that I do, plus working out, like that day when I'm off, coming out of my 3rd in a row is like I'm exhausted. Like that day usually I just devote to myself because like I'm mentally broken down because of all the things I had to do at work, and I'm physically broken down because I just worked out for 3 days and I just got out of the gym, a couple hours ago because I still work out when I get off of work on the 3rd day. So like I'm drained. So usually I devote that day to like myself. Like physically, I feel like physically I gotta take on more strain than mentally. I feel like I get tired more from mental strain than I do physically. If someone, I don't know how you feel, but I'm the same way. Like I could physically work out every day without a break if I wanted to. But for me to do mentally challenging tasks for 5-6 days in a row, that's a lot harder for me to do.
I agree with you. So, and also because, how I say I'm an empath, whatever, and I pick up people's energies. When I'm at work, that shit freaking exhausts me, man, because I'm dealing with so many, we talk about it all the time, physicians, doctors, we have nurses, we have the patients, less family now, but we're still having dynamics where we're calling them over the phone. You're dealing with the pharmacist and you're calling lab. You're having all these people that you're interacting with. And mentally, yeah, it is exhausting, man. And you will feel it. Like you need a recovery mentally from work. And when it comes to like working out, aside from the science, there's just something in working out and being active where if you don't do it, you feel sluggish. If I go on a run or I go do my 30-minute workout, there's just something that just you feel sharp mentally and you feel good. You feel like you're ready to take on the day. And I do need exercise all the damn time. It's like a boost of energy to me.
Yeah, like on my days off where, like if I took a high load of work an hour, if I haven't taken a break in like a week, I try to take a break. And if even on those days I'm tired, like I still feel less accomplished no matter what I do. Just because I haven't worked out. Like I just don't feel like myself if I miss a day working out. It's weird. It's really weird how that works. Like your body knows it has to recover. It needs a break. Your body needs a break. But yet you still feel like you're missing something because you didn't hit the gym.
And that's a very good point because look what happened with COVID, right? You had a routine of working out. I mean, I didn't go to the gym prior to that still because I was doing the whole jiu-jitsu thing. But you took a leap from working out at the gym literally every single day. And then you took like a little hiatus and you had to recover, right? And how was your mental well-being during that time? You probably felt like shit. You felt out of place.
Oh, hell yeah. Like I didn't know like from my ass from my mouth at that point for a solid 2 weeks up until we found a gym at my buddy's cousin's place because like my days were literally evolved around the gym. That was like, especially when I was off of work, because at least when I was working, I had that 12 hours of me having to do something compared to, having a day off where I would just work out and kind of plan my day that way. So the hardest thing for me was on my off days. So like, cause like I said, my days revolved around my gym. So I'd wake up in the morning, usually like 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock. I was in the gym by 8:30 latest, 9 o'clock, depending on which location I went to, because they have different opening times. But I would literally be in the gym for a solid 3 hours. I would work out and I would literally plan out my day in the gym. I would hit the steam room or sauna, and sometimes I would go into the pool. But the reason why I didn't work out for that straight 3 hours, like there were some breaks in between where I was like on my phone, like planning out things I have to do, making phone calls, text people, talking to people. So it was like a process. And me coming out of the gym was another level to getting my day started because I already planned it out at the gym.
That's actually very cool. I like that.
Because I made my time efficient because like usually when I lift, my main weakness to my lifting is because I don't take enough time in between sets or reps. That's my thing. And then I get fatigued quickly. So what I would do to make sure that I would rest enough, I would look at the time and I would give myself at least like 2 or 3 minutes. And while those 2 or 3 minutes, just to make sure I don't get bored, I would be doing stuff on my phone, planning out my day. And I'll plan it with little increments. Like every 3 minutes, I would, every set, I would have 3 minutes of time to plan for something. And I would move on. And then I would plan literally my whole day at the fucking gym.
That's actually pretty solid. You weren't on social media during that time, right? Because that's a rabbit hole where you start scrolling and you start forgetting what you're supposed to do because you get so sucked into the damn app.
Well, occasionally, like I would do it. Let's say if I'm probably doing like my 5x5s, and I'm trying to hit like like a new weight, for my next 5. And some of that, like I said, like I wouldn't take enough time in between because you're going heavy. So if you're gonna go heavy, you take a little fucking break because 5x5 is considered like a powerlifting routine because it's supposed to build power.
Yeah,
But the
it
thing
definitely is.
yeah, so people get mistaken with powerlifting like techniques or powerlifting workouts. Is it's powerlifting. Powerlifting is a workout technique where you are gonna lift heavy, but you don't lift heavy very frequently, right? Like how much times are you gonna set a record for yourself, or how many times are you gonna go into competition, a powerlifting competition? Once
Yeah.
every 3 months, right? Once every 3 months, once every 4 months, once every 6 months, right? And you just gotta lift that weight during that competition. So you gotta take breaks in between because you're not going for volume, you're not going for reps, you're going for that power. So you need that time to recover. So because if you're recovering only like a minute, if you're doing 5x5, so you're doing 5 sets of 5 reps, and if you're doing resting 60 seconds in between your sets, you're not gonna get very far, and you're gonna plateau quicker, and you're not gonna progress as you're supposed to. You gotta take a bigger time in between those sets, especially when you're going into like your 4th or 5th set, because it's powerlifting. You're building power, and when you build power, you need to rest because you need as much power as possible to lift that weight at that given time.
Yeah,
that's the only time you need to lift it too.
You are right. And plus you're activating the fast twitch muscle fibers. So it's a whole different type of workout. It's a whole different goal of what you're trying to do. And when I was doing 5x5, that's probably the best physical strength that I was at. I was lifting super damn heavy. Like I think I was doing 275 squats 5x5. Like I was feeling great at that time. And, going from, let's just say the workout I did yesterday, I was on a yoga mat, and for 30 minutes straight, I put a timer on. I did not rest. I did planks. I did burpees, push-ups. I did judo push-ups. I did, little hammer curls, shoulders. So that it's a whole different workout that I could handle for 30 minutes. Cause I'm not really, using up fast twitch muscle fibers. But since we're talking about working out, it's interesting how doing all these home workouts because of COVID and everything, I didn't realize how often you use your core till I started doing all these like home workouts / calisthenics. The core is a freaking huge part of the body, man. And I think my core has been weak because going to the gym is completely different than you working out and doing the workouts that I'm doing now. So I'm definitely focusing on my core if anybody's wondering.
Yeah, like people take core for granted. Even you're supposed to use your core for every workout. Like even when you're benching, you're supposed to keep your abs flexed. A lot of people don't do that. Like they don't flex their abs while they bench, or they don't make a tight core when they squat or deadlift, and that's also makes them prone to injury. You're supposed to flex your abs basically each almost every workout because you need that stability. Like how are you gonna get that trunk stability? You need trunk stability for your back. It's why you should deadlift and get like a nice back and do back workouts because you need a solid trunk, but you also can't have a weak like frontal abdomen.
Yeah,
and then you're going to be more prone to injuries. You're going to be more prone to kind of like improper form because one side, that's like having a stronger left side than a right side. You're going to lean towards one side.
Yeah. Plus, you're at risk of developing hernias. So yeah, stay away from that. What else do we do outside of work? I'm very huge, since we're talking about habits and things, I'm very huge on my morning routine. And I've been doing it religiously, and it feels amazing. And my routine will change based on where I'm at, because it's cool, because I lived in 3 different places in the past half a year. So my morning routine changed every single time. But like now, what I'm doing is I'll wake up. Of course, I go pee, brush my teeth, and check the scale. That's like my 3 big things there. And I'll go meditate for 10 minutes every single damn time. Like that's just religious now. And it feels so good because you're able to tap into the state of like emptiness so much quicker. And then I'll stretch for 15 minutes, just, probably 10 minutes to be honest, and get my muscle flow in. And then I like to plan out my day. So right now I have like a little table, notepad, and I'll just, if you follow me on social media, you kind of see what I post, but I'll just kind of plan my day there and then I'll start it. I used to sometimes get a workout in for 15 minutes and start my day like that, but I like to just work out or run or do something outside instead of at home for 15 minutes. And that's been my routine. Obviously, when I work, I'm not gonna sit down and journal what I'm gonna do that day because I'm just gonna go to work. I mean, I can't plan out my day at work. I have no idea what kind of patients I'm gonna have. But off days, I'll always plan out my day, because then then when you kind of look back and you kind of journal, or you look back at your kind of to-do list, you feel like you accomplished something, and that already feels good, even you waking up and doing the meditation and stretching, I already feel good because I already accomplished two things I wanted to do that morning. And that kind of helps you build like positive reinforcement. It helps you kind of like keep doing what you're doing in your day and knocking things out.
Yeah, that's solid. That's solid. Yeah, for me, I was super consistent with my schedule, like ever since I started working out for the most part. But I mean, now it's kind of a little bit different because as you know, I took a little break in Florida. But so before Florida, basically my work days, like I said, or I saw my off days first. My off days are very similar to yours, but so I would wake up probably 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. That back when my buddy didn't have classes, so I was able to wake up probably like at 8. I was at his house by 9, and we're lifting. But like you said, similar, wake up. But for me, I meditate after I work out compared to before. I literally wake up, brush my teeth, wash my face, and I'm literally pack my gym bag and I leave right away. So I wake up and then within 15 minutes, I'm already gone. Like straight business. Like, and I'm, because I want to get things going. And then when I come back, usually I would go for a run and then I would meditate after my run for like 10, 15 minutes. Sometimes I would like lay there, listen to like a 15. So for my meditation, like sometimes I would listen to a podcast while just like laying on the ground. Sometimes I would actually have silence and then I would meditate that way. Because, there's different kind of meditation. Everyone can meditate in their own way.
Definitely.
And then, like I said, on my off days, then I would kind of plan out what I got to do, like set 3 goals or 4 goals, depending on how big these goals are, and then start knocking them out. And then usually I was in bed by midnight, and usually I'm asleep by like 1 o'clock in the morning, and then same thing, rinse and repeat. For my work days, what I started doing a couple weeks ago, before I went to Florida, was not only did I work out, but I realized that when I came back from working out, I couldn't sleep for probably a solid 30 minutes to about an hour. Because I take pre-workout, and I think that's what makes me a little bit still wired for half an hour to an hour when I get back.
Of course it is.
Even though I want to go to sleep, I couldn't fall asleep. So what I started doing is setting up one task each day before work. So like little things, like let's say laundry. Like I would put a little laundry in, or I would, instead of doing dishes at night, I would do them when I came back from the gym, or I would even cook, or I would make like cold oats, or I would do like little things, like simple things like that. Don't require a lot of straight activity, but they also don't require a lot of mental thinking.
So one task before bed, and when you come home, that's how you unwind, correct?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, because if I'm laying in bed for the half an hour to 1 hour, wasting my time, I might as well at least do something. So I would throw it in the laundry into the washing machine, or I would fold it, or I would hang it up, or like I said, I would cook, or I would even go shopping sometimes if I need to buy a quick few things. Instead of like waiting till I'm off, I would just go to the store, in between. I would send out some like Amazon Prime returns or things like that. Or even like if I needed to buy something, I would do some shopping like online, like on Amazon. Because I felt like I was being inefficient just laying in bed. First, I was getting pissed off because I couldn't fall asleep. And second of all, like no matter what I did, I couldn't fall asleep. And I didn't want to take melatonin. I didn't want to take cough syrup or whatever other people fucking used to help them fall asleep, because then I was always scared that I wouldn't wake up in time for work. So I just had to struggle it out. And I didn't want to look at my phone because that's going to keep me up even longer, man.
I think that's the worst thing with insomnia is you can't sleep. And then you're getting frustrated about not being able to sleep. So that keeps you up because you're frustrated. And it's just like you're in a vicious cycle. And insomnia is a bitch, man.
Yeah.
And it sucks because you're night shift. So it happens so much more often. Or you know how you have one of those days that you are off and you're literally up for like an hour at 2, 3 a.m. because you can't fall asleep because you're just so used to, staying up at night.
Yeah, sometimes when I wake up like at 3 o'clock in the morning or 4 o'clock in the morning and I'm just like trying to go back to sleep and I can't, I tell myself either one, I fall asleep within the next 15 minutes, and if I don't fall asleep within the next 15 minutes, I'm getting up and I'm doing something, then I'm going to go back to bed. And I'll literally do the same thing. Like I will put a fucking little laundry in at 3 o'clock in the morning, or I would start vacuuming at 3 o'clock in the morning. I probably piss off my neighbors, but it's like, whatever, dude, like I'm going to do my thing. And then like mentally, I didn't feel like doing that. I'd rather go to sleep. So you just do one task and you're tired. You're kind of tricking your body.
Have you ever done guided meditations?
I have. Not recently. Like they're cool when I first did them. But a lot of the guided meditation I did was like half an hour. Like they were longer.
So a lot of people think that, oh, like I know how to meditate, I don't need to do guided meditations anymore. But for like your case, maybe try it next time. If you have insomnia, when you have a guided meditation, you have somebody speaking to you and telling you to breathe and what to do and how to relax. And sometimes that puts you in a state of trance where you stop thinking about the task of trying to fall asleep, and you just listen to the person's voice, and it helps you to just mellow out and fall asleep.
Yeah.
Like
Sometimes I do
it's
on
been
Spotify.
pretty good for me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
Spotify
I do
works.
a playlist on Spotify that or like those waves that are supposed to help you fall asleep or like the lucid dreaming music, things like that. But there have been times where I had it playing and I would wake up and I was like, damn, I slept for a while. And I check my phone, it's been 15 minutes. I'm just like, God damn, it's still the same song playing, you know? So that doesn't always work. Like it works most of the time. A lot of times I use it and it does a trick, but like I said, not always. And sometimes I just gotta get up and do something. And then you trick your body and then you just go back to sleep.
Do you have what are like your top 3 apps that you use to keep you organized or keep you on your off days? So not like social media, just like what are you use consistently to help you stay focused, stay productive, and
Uh, Probably a
to
notebook,
be Peter?
probably just like a notebook, the Google Calendar, and then probably just notes, like the Notes app on the phone.
Yeah,
That's really all I really use.
yeah, that's I think using a notebook is freaking amazing. For some reason, I retain things so much better when I write it down, and it's sometimes cool because let's just say, you're on your phone so much, to be honest, like, and it's always like in your hand and it's annoying. Sometimes I'll just like opening up my notebook and saying, oh, okay, I did A, B, and C. This is what I have to do next, and just close the notebook and continue with my day.
Yeah.
For those people that are very OCD about things, I feel like sometimes people plan on like creating so much tasks for themselves and they don't get it done in their day, and they get frustrated because they have an overflow of tasks for the next day. So that's one piece of advice I would say is don't beat yourself up for not getting enough done, and just look back at what you did and celebrate those small wins. Like, hey, today I did A, B, and C. I was able to do that. Like, good job. You have to reinforce that to yourself, because if you when you're unconscious about things, you're technically reinforcing negative thoughts all the damn time.
Hmm.
And how often are you reinforcing positive thoughts or positive things you did in your day? Not often. So make it a habit of, hey, before bed or the middle of your day, be like, hey, I already accomplished, I already did my 2-mile run. I went to grocery and I did my groceries. I filled up my gas tank and I got some water. I pick up some, alkaline water. Wow, I already did so much. Good shit. Like you have to feed yourself that. You have to feed yourself the breadcrumbs, and that kind of motivates you to continue doing what you're doing.
Yeah. So when you talk about some people try to do more tasks they can handle or plan for more tasks than they can handle, I feel like because that happened to me for a very long time. And I think that happens to people that take a short-term approach to things over a long-term approach to things, which is just completely normal. Like we function as individuals more on short-term, and that's like comes to us as second nature. The harder part to do is to look at a long-term. So help me with the problem of assigning too much tasks for like today or tomorrow is because I didn't take a big enough picture. So instead of planning for a week, I just plan for 2-3 days. And then when you plan for just 2 or 3 days, let's just say I plan tomorrow. Let's say I plan to do 5 tasks tomorrow. Okay. And I accomplish 3 of those and I'm upset because then 2 of those tasks got to move on to the next day. Right. And you're upset because now you got to do 2 more tasks the following day. Okay. But if you're only planning for 2 or 3 days, you're missing the rest of the week. Instead of making it easy on yourself, establishing a little bit of a time, maybe the 4th day or the 5th day, compared to just bundling up into these 2, like it works out better for you. Because the task that you miss and you wake up, because you're upset that you missed these tasks. And the next day you wake up, you're like, God damn, now I got to do 2 more on top of what I had to do. And then your mind's already angry. You're already thinking about the negatives. Like you said multiple times, you think about negatives. You're already thinking yourself into a hole because you went to sleep upset because you didn't finish what you wanted to finish. And you wake up angry because now you got to do more.
Negative thought pattern.
Exactly. And you spent time thinking about this. And guess what? Now, instead of doing those tasks the next day, guess what? You have more piling up the next day. You don't accomplish enough. And then you're so overwhelmed with these tasks where you have a full day off on the fifth day and you're just so overwhelmed with stuff. You're just like, screw it, I'm having a day to myself, which is good, but you're doing yourself more harm. Because if you were just planned for all 5 of those days instead of just the 2 or 3 coming up, you would have had time for yourself on the 5th day, and you would have got 2 or 3 tasks done each day compared to doing 5 this day and 5 the next day. And if we spread out this one, like I said, like I tried to accomplish one task before I go back to work. Like use that time. Like 1 hour doesn't seem like a lot, but it actually is enough time for you to do like these simple things that, like doing laundry and dishes and vacuuming all in one day. That's gonna take you a long time. But if you vacuum one day, do dishes the next day, do laundry the next day, that makes time. It makes it seem as you're in more control of time because you're doing these things that you don't enjoy for less amount of time each day. Yeah, it might take you 3 hours in total, but you're not doing 3 hours this one day. You're doing 1 hour each day, which makes it a lot more bearable.
I like how you also say control, right?
Yeah.
And what happens is sometimes we do so much, and while we're doing the damn thing, instead of putting focus and all of our attention and energy into it, we do a lot more other things on top of, having this beautiful cell phone, which is a perfect distractor. And you can do so much on it, check all these apps, communicate with all these people. Sometimes you're not actually productive. You're just busy. You're busy because you're using a lot of mental brain power with everything that you're actually doing in your life instead of focusing on 1 or 2 things that are like priority. And
Exactly.
if you did, whatever you set out to do and then kind of just put your phone away, tuck it away till you get the damn thing done, you could do so much more. Like I've noticed that focus is honestly something I'm striving for because it's so easy to be unfocused right now. Like ADHD, man. Why do you think it happens? Because you could be doing how often, and I catch myself doing this. You're like, okay, I'm going to go to the store, but then I sit down on this couch that's behind me and I'm going to look at my phone for like 5 minutes. I'm like, Matt, what the fuck are you doing? Get up. Let's go.
Yeah. It's been 50 minutes.
It's been 15 minutes. And that's why sometimes another habit I do, I put timers on things. And I don't do it because I'm OCD. It's just I have to catch myself not doing the damn thing. Like I'll do, for example, I woke up today, I did my meditation and stretching, and I was supposed to go make a cup of coffee and start my day. But I wanted to check my phone, like just see what I'm missing, what text, because my phone is on Do Not Disturb. I'll do a timer for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Hey, Matt, this is all the time you have to check your phone. And then after that, that's it. Whatever you have to do, go do and take care of it.
Yeah, timers help a lot because I set my timer all the time. I always say, like, I don't want to say the name because it's going to turn off and you guys are going to hear it. Then I have to say it again to turn it off. Amazing Amazon machinery here. Yeah, setting the timers works perfectly well because, like I said, these cell phones, they're made for us to keep looking at them, to be glued to them. And sometimes it's hard for us to jump out of it. It's when you're glued to it, even like the TV or like your phone or a tablet, it's hard to jump out of it because you're so in tune with looking at it. So sometimes you need something to break that focus. And timer is a perfect thing to break your focus. Why? Because it alarms, and instead of you looking on your phone, guess what? You got to turn around. Now you hear something going. So instead of listening to a YouTube video or an Instagram, post, you hear the alarm going off. So guess what? You take your focus off your phone, and then you take the focus onto the thing that's alarming. And then that's like a little jolt, like, oh shit, okay, it's been 15 minutes. Now I got to go. It kind of alerts you. Just that change of focus makes you refocus off your phone to like what you're actually supposed to be doing. And that's all people need. It's just like we get consumed with this device, and we think we can mentally change our focus, but it's not always that easy. And set a timer is a perfect solution to it. And it's such an easy solution.
And you're saying it's so easy to change your focus, and at the same time, it's so easy to lose focus as well. And this is why if you're doing like a high level task that's taking a lot of mental power, you should probably flip your phone, put it on Do Not Disturb till you get the damn thing done, because it's so hard to reorient that focus. And, I don't know if we ever talked about the state of flow. I'm sure we have before, but it's like, you could get into a state of flow, into a state of focus that's so like tranquil where you lose track of time and space. And that's what you need, but it's so hard to get there. And that's why this damn phone is a distractor, because it just has to be off. Like, it's plain and simple. I don't got to explain it in little terms. I'm pretty sure
No.
people are catching up on what the heck this is. It's the devil in disguise.
Yeah, like you're not none's gonna keep you this focused. None's gonna keep you more focused than a phone. Unless you got like a naked woman in front of you, then that might be a little different. Because like a good comparison is
What would
like
happen? I mean, don't change the question. Don't
what would happen is this. I'm not gonna look at this. I'm gonna look at the woman.
the woman? Yeah.
But the thing is, a good way, if you don't like believe me how like focused we are on these phones, like next time you take a poop, leave your phone outside the bathroom. See how quick you're done. How many times have you? I mean, hopefully this is not just me. Like sometimes I was taking a shit and I was glued to my phone and I was like, oh shit, I've been sitting on my blood's not circulating properly. My feet are falling asleep. I've been sitting on this toilet for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Like it's like, oh shit, no pun intended.
Literally, oh shit! Like, go wipe
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Like God, the shit's probably dry on my ass by now. I've been sitting here for so fucking long.
Oh man. Another thing that I like doing as well, or I've done it in the last 3 weeks, is I completely reorganize my phone and my apps, where all the apps that are very, very distracting are not in front of my front page. So like my front page, meaning the first page of my iPhone, I have no idea what it's even called. We'll call it a page. Is I have like Whoop, because I track it a lot. I have Notes, I have Calendar, I have Spotify for music. Those are things that I do a lot. And I'll have like voice memos and apps to keep me productive. Anything podcast related will be on there. When it comes to emails, when it comes to social media, anything as a distractor, it's in a separate folder, and I have to swipe to the other page on my iPhone, and then I could open it up.
Mhm.
So I always have that front page there, just so I don't get distracted by notifications or, oh, it's that app. Because how often do you unconsciously open your phone and click on an app, and the first app that you click on is social media? And you could check it yourself. Go to settings and go on display or whatever it is in there, and start keeping track of what's the first app you go to. Maybe you need a limit. I'll put a limit on Instagram. I'll put a limit on messages, just so I don't go overboard. And I have it's kind of hard when it comes to social media, because we post on there all the time. We check up on, couple nurses stuff, and I'll go over sometimes. So sometimes I'll give myself an extra 15-minute limit. But for those that are listening, look at your phone and notice what you're clicking unconsciously, and maybe change that around. Maybe just shuffle your phone around, shuffle your apps around, give your body or give your routine a break from all that. You'll notice what you're itching for, because
Yeah.
you don't know.
Go ahead.
You don't know you're itching for social media on your phone, or you're clicking on it first till you shuffle your apps around, put it in folders, and then you're gonna notice your thumb is freaking out because it doesn't know what to click because it's not there.
Yeah, dude. Like if you want to stay off like some kind of an app, the easiest way for you to do it is to build resistance to it. So make yourself take more steps to access that app. Like make yourself have to swipe twice and open up a folder, and then in that folder, then you could get it from there. Like instead of having a one-step approach, make it 4 steps or 3 steps. You can be less prone to doing it. But then you have these magic iPhones. On the first page, you have that search bar. I don't even like click on my apps anymore. I go straight to the search bar.
I was just gonna bring it up that, hey, I
Yeah.
hid my social media apps in another folder on the other swipe. But if I go to the left, Siri suggests, and my app pops up there. I'm like, damn it, Matt, you can't go there anymore because it's just distracting you from what you wanted to do initially,
And that's some shit. Like you built a little maze for yourself to make things harder to access. And guess what? Apple is gonna, hey, instead of doing all these steps, just type in the first 2 letters, and we'll have a pop up for you. It's like,
Yeah, man.
goddamn.
And that's the problem with artificial intelligence. It's getting so smart that it knows what you like, and you're fighting your own damn urges because the computer knows you so well. It knows what to throw at you, man.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're fighting a lot of tension, unfortunately, nowadays, especially with our apps. I was off. Let's just say I took a break off social media for the weekend. When I went back onto it, I'm like, whoa, man, these colors are so bright. Like, this is engineered so perfectly to keep you on this damn app. The colors are nice and bright. There's a nice little circle around the person. It makes you want to click. It's clickable, man. It's engineered to keep you on it.
Hell yeah, dude. That's exactly what it's been. But it has to be a crazy thing. And now with this whole quarantine and COVID-19, like people are even more glued to their phone now because you got nothing else to look forward to. Like you don't like I don't want to be a dick, but like you've been seeing your family consistently, especially if you're like on furlough or laid off. You've been seeing your family every day for the last like 3 months. Like I'm like it's not like you're getting sick of them. You just need something to new to kind of get your stimulation for the day. And easy access of stimulation, your phone. Always something new going on over there, dude. Always something new going on. It just sucks to it. And guess what? People that weren't dependent on their phones, or because I'm sure you know people that are a little bit older than us in their 30s, or even the same age, but aren't as dependent on their phone as maybe me and you are. You know, we have those friends that aren't glued to it as we are. But guess what? They're glued to it now because what else are they gonna do? You know, they can't go to a bar, to a restaurant, you know, talk to people. The only way to talk to people is with this damn phone. So maybe you were like, you know how our parents are with cell phones? They don't really know what's going on and how to like do certain things. Yeah, so people that are our age that are kind of like the same way. They weren't really in tune with their devices and how it works. But guess what? Now they are because they had to figure it out because there's nothing else for them to fucking do.
Yeah, man. And that's one thing about technology, and it's getting scarier because I feel like more and more as a society, especially after COVID, we're realizing how much we're pushing towards virtual. Like more and more technology is taking over. We're becoming more dependent on it. Now with COVID, like it sucked us into our phones more and more. And look at all these, like, Facebook is creating party rooms and chat rooms where you could all video chat and stuff. Like it's just drawing us more and more into this virtual space. Imagine when we're going to have the goggles and the headset where, hey, we could hang out with all our friends in another virtual space in a complete different reality, just hanging out. And
Apple's actually coming out pretty soon too.
Yeah, it's coming slowly and slowly, man. And if you're not aware of who you are and the person that you are now, imagine the next 2-3 years when you're not gonna be able to know who the hell you are because you're completely in a loss of reality and detached from your actual self because you're sucked into technology.
Exactly. Like it seemed like the Sims, Sims all over again. Like you're gonna have a real life, person life, and you're gonna have a virtual life. Just like with like when we used to play RuneScape, you had like the archers and like the people that did magic, and then like the warrior people, right?
Yep.
And you always like one group over the other. You had like your virtual life in like this video game or whatever, and you have your actual life. Like you could be a completely different person. You could be the biggest asshole in a video game, but you could be the nicest person in real life, or vice versa.
Yeah, it's like me and you, about video games. I mean, me and you on video games are straight killers, man. People that don't know, me and Peter are such a freaking squad when we play first person shooters. I wish we recorded those days when we were playing Battlefield and we're just like 50 kills and 0. Me and Peter just reviving each other and staying alive and not dying during a map, man. Those were some good times.
That subway station. Remember we had those shotguns that shot like the fire bullets and they were overpowered?
Yeah, Operation Metro, and we were playing with slug rounds, so those shotgun rounds lasted further, and it was just business. It was death, man.
We easily went. We got the reviver things. We were medics. We literally 50. We were number one each game. People didn't want to play. People left when they saw our name. That's how bad it was. It was me. It was just me versus Matt. We had to be different teams and shit.
Damn. Yeah, we're straight killers. Anything that you do for the nighttime that's very specific? I'm wondering. I don't think I ever asked you. Like a night habit.
Night habits. Definitely no phone like within half an hour. Doesn't always work ideally, but I've been trying different sleep time teas, and they've been pretty good. Melatonin, I've only took melatonin a handful of times, but tea, the sleeping tea, because my issue is falling asleep. Like like once I'm asleep, I'm usually like a rock. There's occasional times where I would wake up and then like that happens to everybody. But majority of the time, if I fall asleep, I'm usually out. But the main issue is falling asleep. Sometimes there's where I turn around in bed and I can't fall asleep, and so I'm trying to do different remedies for me to like fall asleep better. But the most beneficial one is I like sleeping in my room, and I like it cold, very cold. Because like when I was in Florida, like my body knows when I'm not home when I'm trying to sleep. I just couldn't. No matter how much hours I slept, I just could not get a good night's sleep. I was there for over a week, and each night, it doesn't matter if I slept 6 hours, 8 hours, or 4 hours, like it was not a good sleep. And and here I come back in my bed, recovery is 94%. First day back, like damn, it's like your body knows when you're not home, and I like things to be certain way. Even like, I don't know, dude. Like I like control, so I like to have control over things. So just like the fact that I can't control the room and like how it's positioned and how it looks is just throws me off when I go on vacation.
Yeah, that's very interesting how that happens. And so yeah, it's your body and so aware of what it does. I mean, what do I have to say? Where I've been living in different homes for 7 months, man. It's been exhausting, and it's interesting because the quality of your bed, it makes a difference too. I think like in Venice, I had the best freaking sleep in my life, man. That bed was so damn good. The pillows were perfect. Here, the pillows aren't. They didn't put a lot of money into them, and they suck.
Yeah,
So
that's true. How do you like your pillows? Do you like them a little fluffy? Do you like them flatter? And how do you sleep? Do you know what position you sleep in?
yeah, the fetal position.
Fetal. Okay.
So usually when I'm back in Chicago, I have my awesome pillow with the memory foam, and it has the little
With the little indents for your
the,
neck.
the little curve for the neck. Yes, so I loved that pillow. Here, the pillows are just kind of like you lay down and you kind of feel the back of your head is already hitting the bed type of thing. Like there's not enough fluff in them, man, and that's what I miss. When I fall asleep, I like to fall asleep, being supine usually. Sometimes I'll have a pillow under my, how like we cradle the patients, we put a pillow
Mm-hmm.
underneath their elbow.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I'll do that. I'll put up one pillow and fall asleep like that. Sometimes if I'm moving in bed, I can't fall asleep. I'll put a pillow underneath my thigh, just like some random ass positions just to get comfortable,
To
man.
try it out, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just to try it out because it's just, what am I going to do? And then sometimes I just like sleeping on my side, man, putting a pillow in between my knees. Ooh, that gets me, man.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So for me, I'm not that big of a fan of pillows, dude, to be honest. Like there's a lot of times where I just sleep on mattress without any kind of pillows.
Yeah, you're weird like that, man.
Like when I'm on my back, for sure, no pillows. Like honestly, dude, if I don't like the mattress, like I can sleep on the floor. If it's a flat floor, I can sleep on it perfectly fucking fine, dude. And if I'm in bed, if I'm sleeping on my back, no pillow. But when I'm sleeping on my side, I like a pillow, but I also like a pillow in between my legs. And I also like to, you guys can't see me, but I like to I mean, I don't know how to fuck describe it, but when you had like a girlfriend or when you have somebody over and like you sleep with like their arm around them,
Yeah.
I do that to my pillow because I have a long pillow. It's like probably like 4 feet, maybe a little more, maybe 4.5, and I kind of cradle it, like crescent or whatever the fuck the word is for it. So if I sleep on my side, I'm usually hugging that pillow.
Yeah, maybe you just need to get laid. Maybe that. I mean, then you want to be sleeping in
Maybe,
that
but I
position.
prefer
I'm
yeah
just kidding.
maybe, but I prefer sleeping on my back though. That's like the way to go, or my stomach sometimes too. When it's still not cold enough, I prefer sleeping on my stomach.
It's kind of funny because we travel nurse for 2 months in Oakland, and I basically saw you sleeping every single night, and I couldn't figure out what's your favorite position, man.
Yeah, I'm
You
all over the place, right?
sleeping all over the place. Wear underwear one day, other day you're fucking naked, man. Can't figure it out, dude.
Dude, I'm telling you, man. Somebody fucks with me at night, dude. I'm serious. Somebody comes in and undresses me, dude. I'm telling you. It's been going on ever since I was a little kid. I'm telling you, someone's fucking with me, man.
Oh man, it's funny.
Sometimes I fall asleep fully clothed. The next thing you know, I have nothing on. Everything's all folded. Maybe I sleepwalk. Maybe I sleep undress. Is that a thing?
It
Would it
could
be?
be a.
It'd be crazy if you go to sleep and you wake up fully clothed. Maybe I'm gonna get you one time so pissed drunk that you're gonna remember going to sleep without any clothes. I'm gonna put clothes on you, because then you'd be like, did I fuck something up? Why am I having clothes? Did I rob a bank? I'm gonna put some like random shit. I'm gonna put like a dead deer carcass in your bed. You'd be like, I'm gonna give you some Ativan real quick, have you knock out, and then bring like a deer bleeding from its neck and put on your bed. See
Fucking
what
deer,
happens,
man.
dude.
Out of everything else, you're gonna bring a deer. That'd be scary, man.
I'll put a little bit of blood, if it's blood on your mouth, make you think like you bit it.
Damn, I
Yeah.
went completely. I went completely satanic, and I sacrificed
Yeah.
a deer in the forest, and I brought it home. Woke up like, what the hell happened, man? That'd be some
That'd be some
shit.
shit. That'd be some shit, man. I'd be fucking scarred for life. I'll never trust you ever again.
But sleepwalking is a real thing because I had a teacher, a psychology teacher, and she used to hide food, or she used to tell her husband to hide specific food because she used to wake up at night, and she was such a trip, by the way. She used to wake up at night and she used to just eat food, bro. Like
Oh shit.
her husband was watching TV, and he's like talking to her, and she would just look at him and just keep doing what she's doing. And
That's crazy.
she would just, yeah, sit on the couch, eat food, go back to sleep, dude. And she would not know sometimes. So she woke up in the morning and noticed a bunch of shit that's gone or something.
Yeah, I'd catch my sister sleepwalking sometimes too, maybe like a handful of times. Like it'd be late at night, I'd be watching TV downstairs, and she'd come downstairs. And I'd be like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "I don't know," and she would just like walk, and then like I'd be like, "You okay?" She's like, "I don't know," and then like she'd go back upstairs and go to sleep. And now like till the morning, I'm like, "Did you know you went downstairs last night?" She's like, "What are you talking about?" Like she wouldn't remember.
That's wow.
Yeah, but she'll like respond. Like you can ask her questions, she'll respond like yes, no, maybe. I mean, you obviously can't have a conversation with her, but
Like, how does that work, dude? Like, I would love
yeah,
to have a sleep person on talk
yeah,
about that. It's like you have like 10% of your brain functioning enough to
right.
respond to something, and then your body's on autopilot while this is happening.
Yeah, one time I was like, "Are you sleepwalking?" She laughed and said, "Yeah," and she went back upstairs. It was funny. I was like, "All right, dude." Like it's random shit like that. Like I don't know. Like sometimes I would be chilling, like because we have another living room upstairs, my parents' house. Like somebody should walk in and like it was. I mean, it was kind of. It was the beginning. It was kind of freaky, but then I realized she's just sleepwalking. Like she just walk in and I'll look at you, and then she like shake her head and walk back and go back to sleep.
Wow.
First I was like, "What the fuck is going on here, dude?" And I would ask her about it. You remember that? She's like, "No," but then I realized that she's just sleepwalking.
It's kind of funny because look at patients. You know, you have patients that will take like an Ambien, and they're completely crazy at night, and then during the day they're smiling, they're ordering breakfast, and nothing
Mm-hmm.
ever happened. Why? You just had a crazy ass night with them because they're doing so much damn shit.
Dude, hell yeah. Especially with sundowners, man. Like sometimes day shift walks in and like he's a nice person in the world, dude. Like everything's great. Like I feel fine. Like, I'm ready. When does the doctor come along? Like you're having a full-fledged conversation. And 2 hours ago, he just had his lady in restraints, dude. She's acting bad shit crazy. You had chairs around her bed because she was trying to escape, and you had to give her like 4 point restraints just for like 2 hours, just to, have her not hurt herself.
Yeah.
And then here comes, reports come at 7 o'clock. You take off the restraints at 6, because technically they were on or whatever, and then she's completely fucking normal.
And
It's just like, damn.
that's what you got to do sometimes. Like people don't know, man. Night shift, you got to do what you got to do. Like this patient kept trying to get out of bed, so I took basin, and I took I sent you the picture before, two blankets, and I wrapped it around to make like a little barrier, and I tucked it on each side of the freaking bed, taped it around the bed so she couldn't escape. Technically it's a form of restraints, but it's night shift, you got to do what you got to do. Day shift comes, you basically make the shit look pretty because management's going to be around, so you make it look like nothing ever happened type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what the charge nurse says too. He like came by and he like laughed at me because I did that. He's like, yeah, just make sure at 6:30 there's nothing in the bed
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah, dude.
it looks bad if management comes and you're just like, well, what are you doing? It is what
Yeah.
it is, man. I just don't have time to baby a person every 15
Yeah.
minutes because I got to do my damn job.
Yeah, it's not just about time, but it's like safety, dude. Like,
It is safety.
yeah, the lady was going whack an hour ago, and now she's been quiet for half an hour. But it's like, even though she's been quiet for half an hour, you never know what she's gonna do in the next half hour, So let's just take precautions. Like, it's not like we're locking her up in a cage and throwing away the key. It's just like little safety things that we do. We're not taping her to the bed. We're just like taping blankets to the side rails to not have her throw her legs off and slide off and hurt herself. God forbid something happens.
Yeah, and one of the craziest cases I had of that story, and basically the family sued the hospital afterwards, is the patient came in for an orthopedic case, of course, right? So she just she had her knee done or hip or something like that, and during the night shift she was confused, and she thought she was at home, and she thought that people are trying to rob her house. She had restraints on. And every single time the bed alarm went off, she thought the alarm was going off at home and there's people trying to get into her house. So imagine how fearful she is. So it was in such fear, she ended up breaking the damn restraints, getting out of bed, freaking falling down and fracturing her femur head on her freaking bone. So she needed to go back to surgery the next day to get a ORIF, meaning a hip, pinning. It's fucked up, man.
That's some shit.
Yeah, and you're trying to keep this person safe, and she just didn't know where the hell she was, and she was so damn confused.
Yeah, it happens, especially after surgery, dude. You put all this sedation in there, and and this like sedation has like the craziest effect on some people, man. Is sometimes it takes them forever to get out the sedation. Like it means like the sedation has been shut off for the last like 4 hours, and this lady's still zonked out of her mind. Still not waking up. It's like no response to pain, and she's neurologically attacked. Took it down for a CT. Neurologically, she's completely fine, and then sometimes it takes that long for the medications to wear off. It's crazy how that works. Like your kidney function fine. It's just like the way some people react to this medication. It's insane. It's crazy.
Yep.
Sometimes they get out. You're able to wake them up, but then they don't know where the hell they're at. They have these adverse effects of like ICU delirium, but right after sedation. Like it's crazy, man.
Yeah. Or you have the exact opposite case and you get a patient from the OR that's just got intubated and, they pushed some propofol and they brought him to you with no drips on. The doctor's not around, so you have no drips to start. And then the patient's a freaking train wreck, getting up, trying to, self-extubate themselves. You're straining them and you're waiting for some sedation. It's like, I think that's the beauty of nursing. It's just like there's just so much different extremes that could happen. And every day you walk in and, you're smiling to work, you clock in and you just have no idea what's going to happen, man.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Dude, every day is a fucking different day. Like I said, even though patients come with the same issues, it's still a whole different situation. The treatment modalities are completely different. They might be like a protocol of care, but everything beyond that protocol is completely fucking different, man.
Yeah, like yesterday, I did the Q&A yesterday on Instagram, and someone asked me, like, hey, do you have any recommendations for ICU or tips or books? And I'm just like, well, you could read a book and you could do, and I had one book that was like more of a reference of like lab values and stuff like that and procedures. But you honestly just have to jump into the ICU and just freaking learn. And you have to learn, ask questions, fail some more, fail again, fuck something up, and you just like learn from experience, man. Because there's no other teacher.
Yeah, it's like riding a bike. Like you could watch all the YouTube videos on how to ride a bicycle. You could read all the books about how to ride a bicycle. You're not gonna ride a bicycle until you actually ride a bicycle. Same with like cooking. You can read up on how many minutes to cook a steak on a medium high for, how many times to flip it, what oil to use. But if you don't actually try cooking it, like you're not gonna know what the hell you're doing. It's literally how nursing is all the fucking time and every day. It's a love-hate relationship. Sometimes it pisses me off, sometimes I like it.
Yeah, and this also goes into play with like self-improvement, right? And I think I forgot who coined the term, but he said like all these self-help books and all these YouTube videos, all these people read and watch and do all this motivational stuff. It's a bunch of self-help masturbation, meaning you've done all this good stuff. Oh yeah, I'm gonna get it done. I'm so motivated, but if you don't put in the actual action, you're just masturbating around the idea of wanting to do something. You just have to go there and learn and go fail and go experience like that, and that just applies to anything in life, to be honest.
Especially when you're in your 20s, like you're 20, like in your 20s, like financially, you could basically do whatever you want, really, because the worst case scenario, you still have the rest of your life to like compensate for it, and you're also still young. You have a lot of energy, so you're able to do like skydiving. You're able to do like and different intensities of like rock climbing that you can't do when you're 60. Who knows how you might have genetic predisposition to some kind of gene mutation that's going to give you like early onset cardiomyopathy. And guess what? You're 40 and you want to do skydiving, you wanted to do like a triathlon, you wanted to like swim across the lake or whatever, things like that. And now you can't, because you have early onset cardiomyopathy or whatever your illness is. So that's why, like you said, if you wait on it, it's like waiting for milk. If you wait to drink the milk, it's gonna get spoiled, and then you get nothing out of it compared to just enjoying it while it was still good, in the present moment.
It's funny you mentioned milk. Of course you would, because you love milk so much.
I love milk. I actually had cereal a little bit ago too. I'm not gonna lie.
Something interesting that a nurse told me, and I heard it all the time. And I'm 26. You're about to be 26 this year, and we're like at a peak of our like fitness and optimal health and everything. And a nurse, I asked the nurse, when did he decline? And he said after 30. After 30, he couldn't work out as much and stuff like that. And I'm just like, and I just think to myself, I'm like, fuck, man, that's already coming. Like that kind of bothers me. So, and I wonder whether, because we're using Whoop and we're getting all this sleep, I wonder, will I able to reap the benefits of optimal health longer because I've been taking care of myself so early on? Or is 30 or whatever the case might be, that hallmark sign that, hey, you know, you got to pump the brakes. You can't work out as much anymore. I wonder. I wonder how I'm gonna feel.
Yeah, dude, I have no idea. Like, we can ask our parents when they kind of felt the decline, but the thing with our parents is, like, they grew up in a whole different country and a whole different lifestyle, you know, so it's kind of hard to say because their life revolved around farming, which is like manual labor from 6 a.m. till, you know, 7 p.m. every damn day, no breaks. You did the farm nonstop consistently. So like, we don't do that kind of stuff. We work 3 nights a fucking week. And then outside of work, we do the podcasting stuff. We do all this stuff, which is computer based. We don't do any heavy lifting on a podcast. No, it's all mental. It's completely different. So like, if we ask our parents, hey, when did you start feeling like this? Maybe a little bit less of energy. When did you feel like you weren't as strong? It's gonna be completely fucking skewed.
You are
not
right.
reliable, you know?
And it's funny because, like, you know, we work out, we all do this heavy lifting, or we're kind of, you know, our physique looks sharp, whatever, you know, Peter, you look good, I look good. And
Thank
it's
you.
like, yeah, no problem, man. And then it's like, my dad takes me to construction and he tells me to go break some cement with a sledgehammer. And I'm getting calluses, and he's calling me a pussy basically because I do all this lifting, but I can't, you know, use a hammer. So it's funny how they have different strengths as well, you know, with those things. And we're just used to, you know, being not more stagnant, but we're a different breed, man. It's it's different from farmland.
Yeah, like your dad might be able to hit a jackhammer better than you, or like, you know, those big hammers are called jackhammers, right? No, jackhammer's the machine. A
Yeah,
sledgehammer.
sledgehammer. Yeah,
They might be able to use a sledgehammer better, but I'm sure you could deadlift more than him. You know, it's different. You know, it's just Dave did those repetitions more times than you. That's really all it is. You know, like, I'm sure I could cut trees better than most people. You know, because I've been goddamn dude cutting. When I lived in my parents' Lockport, every fall season, every spring season, we had to go to someone's yard, cut down the damn tree just so we could have firewood, you know, to do.
Did you use a chainsaw or was it an axe?
So the actual tree itself is a chainsaw, but then the rest of it, branches, you cut with an axe. So the tree itself, chainsaw, but when we brought it back, and then of course we cut with the chainsaw smaller pieces, but when we're actually getting ready for firewood, we use an axe.
Okay, good.
But now we have a wood splitter. It's an actual machine that splits the wood for you. You just push down this lever and it splits it for you.
Okay, I've done it before because in Poland, it's cool. Man. I love being raised in a different culture because in Poland, you have basically a lot, and those are your trees. Do whatever the hell you want with them. And when I was in Poland like 3 years ago, my cousin, you know, they're chopping wood down and they need it for winter for the fireplace, and that's exactly what we did. We had a wood splitter, and we would just freaking cut trees for like 3-4 hours straight, loading up a damn trailer, man. That's hard labor.
Yeah. We literally probably spent 2 weekends just so we could stock up on for like the whole summer, or even for winter, because my parents have a fireplace too, so they want wood for that. So you literally devote 2 Saturdays in the month, and you would just like cut as much as possible.
I think this
a few seasons.
I think this is why culturally too, and it could be Mexican or Indian, whatever it is. Like, I'm referencing Polish people. This is why it probably, you know, they busted their ass all day out on the farm. Then they came home and ate these soups and ate these meals. And now they're like, there's nothing better in the world than this soup, you know, because it felt so good having that reward after doing such hard labor that they're kind of hardwired to love their food so much, if you think about it culturally.
Yeah. What I've noticed as I got older is I've gotten to like more appreciation for like long-term projects, you could say, because when you're at it, like when you're like a kid, let's say like you're in your teens and you're cutting wood, that's just pain in the ass, because first of all, it's hard. You don't want to be there because none of your friends are there. It's just your dad and his buddies. Like, you don't want to talk to them. They don't want to fucking, basically you don't want to talk to them. They don't want to talk to you because you guys have nothing in common, because these guys are in their 40s and you're a fucking 16 little piece of shit that's just here for help.
Yeah,
you know,
and he's drinking and smoking cigarettes.
Yeah, and you know, and they might have sometimes they bring their kids that are the same age that you could relate, but it's like nobody wants to fucking be there. Like, they want to be there because that's like, you know, that's like them doing their shit. Like right now, like last time I cut down a tree was probably when I was like 22, when I was like cutting trees down with my dad, and I actually fucking enjoyed it, dude. Like, it was actually fucking fun. Like, you got a good sweat and you got a good workout, and just made you feel manly, and and the main reason why it felt good is because like, when you get older, you have a more long-term approach to things. Like, you could see the outcome and you could see it better. You know, because like I said, as a teenager, all you see is the now. You're just like, I got to be here now. It sucks. I don't want to be here. It's hot. We're cutting trees. There's bugs. There's mosquitoes. I'm sweating my ass off. I could be at a pool. Everyone's at a pool. Why the fuck do I got to be here? You know, like fuck these trees. I don't care about these trees. I don't care if my parents have wood in the fireplace because they want to like enjoy like a glass of wine by the fireplace. Like I don't care about that. But now now when I went in like my 20s, it's like this is actually pretty fun. Like I'm getting a good workout on it, and like I said, I'm cutting down these trees, and guess what? The end result is going to be fucking wood that I could burn, and it makes you feel good. Like these long projects that take long to accomplish, like they make you feel better because you know you devote a lot of time for it, and like you pay attention to how much strain you're devoting or how much amount of time you're devoting to this, and you see the end result. Back when you're younger, your brain was as developed, and you couldn't really see the long-term effects. That's why teenagers make these spontaneous decisions. Like how many bad decisions have you made when you're a teenager? Horrible. Why? Because you didn't realize the repercussions of it long term, or what's going to happen to you next week, or even that in 6 hours your parents are going to bitch you out. You just did it because, hey, let's fucking do it.
You didn't even let me answer. You knew I was doing bad decisions, huh?
Yeah. I don't want you to add to the fire. You know, I don't want any legal issues.
Yeah.
But now, yeah, especially when I speeded. When you're a teenager, you fucking want to go fast all the time. Now it's like, hey, let me take a look, make sure there's no cops around because I don't want to fucking pay $60 for a ticket. Then I got to get pulled over. Then I got to deal with the cop. Then I have to, you know, do this. I got to pay. But when you're a teenager, you're just like, fuck it, I want to go fast. And boom, I'm going fast. Now it's like, you know, fuck it. I'd rather go to 65 and not deal with all this fucking aftermath that I have to take care of, you know, if I get a ticket.
You make a very good point. And just to kind of circle back, when you talked about when you're older, you look at you have more of a vision, right? You're looking at more of an outward approach, like let's just say weeks on, months on, long term. There you go. Same thing happens with like your routines, right? Like it's cool if you're planning your day and your 2 days, whatever, and hey, these are the tasks you need 2 to 3 days to be done. But you also need that long-term approach. You need a vision. You need an end goal. You need to figure out what you're striving for in those days in, days out, right? Of course, you shouldn't look at what do I got to do next week because that'll frustrate you. So figure out what you got to do today and tomorrow. But you also, at a macro level, you have to be looking at what you're trying to accomplish as the long goal, right? And then you have to love the process of it, of course. So you break down that long goal into a short-term goal. We have to figure out what you're going for because then you're not going to have any focus or sense of direction. And that also kind of sucks, you know, to wrap around habits based on what the story that you heard.
Yeah, it's still kind of hard for us to see like the long-term success of us because we're in 20s. So the longest long-term thing you could say we did is probably college. You know,
yeah,
the three years plus prerequisites or 4 years plus prerequisites. So that's the longest thing we've achieved so far in our life. Like, you know, like our podcast is still considered short-term compared to that.
Yeah, because it's only been a year.
Exactly. So there's a way to like your mid-30s, then you're going to even have a greater appreciation for these long-term projects and long-term success. Because guess what? In 10 years from now, we're going to see, hey, what we did in these 10 years led to this. You're just like, oh, shit. Now, if I try this and I can do it for 10 years, this is what the outcome is going to be. You're going to have a better kind of visual on like what you created and what paid off and what didn't. Because you're actually going to see the end results. You know?
Yeah. Like honestly, like nursing school, you're talking about accomplishments. It freaking sucked so much. But if you think about it, it armed us with so much grit and perseverance that now we could apply it to a lot of concepts in life. Like, for example, outside of what we do in our habits, we also have to run a podcast and we have to be completely organized because we would lose our shit, right? Like, or, we're doing a day in, day out. It's like, shit, people aren't listening. Like, when are we going to get some, whatever listeners and all that? Like, that took a lot of time and perseverance. And like nursing school teaches you just swallow your damn pride and just keep on pushing, And that, how long did it take? 4 years worth of school, right? To get things done and doing chemistry, organic chem, fuck organic chem. Like
I like organic chem. Fuck you.
It was fuck you too, man. But those carbon molecules just freaking it sucked so bad. I had to cheat a little bit during organic chem, to be honest.
What about carbon-based molecules, man?
What's up?
Are we all carbon-based molecules?
Yeah, organic chem is highly focused on organic or carbon molecules. Yeah. I lost my train of thought, man. But long story short is nursing school and school in general could arm you with, the perseverance and the grit to accomplish those tasks. And it teaches you that, hey, it's going to take some time and you just have to slow down and just enjoy the damn moment. Like a lot of people in their heads, they're already wanting the damn goal, but they're not falling in love with the process of actually doing that damn thing, you know?
Yeah. Yeah,
Like,
it's true.
you have to, you have to love those little things. It's just like working out. Sometimes when I'm working out, I'm just like, oh, like these push-ups suck so bad. Just love it. Just love it because you know you're growing. Just every single time you're going down and up, just feel the damn fire, feel the damn muscle hurting, but just know deep inside this is for the greater good, and just keep on, hammering them out. You're not gonna see a result from 20 push-ups, but if you do 20 push-ups for 100 days straight, you might see a little bit of a, titty action. Is going to bounce up and down.
There you go, dog. And that's a good way to end it, man. You know, there's nothing much better than ending on some titty action, you know?
Oh man, I'm just cracking up. You always have to
Silence.
break. You have to break the ice with. Yeah, I would say that a gay baby was born, but nowadays
Oh yeah.
technically that's wrong to say, and I can't even say that because I would offend people.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up. I haven't said that in a while. Like
So I said it anyway.
we used to say that in grade school all the time.
Yeah, now it's not a norm, bro. It's funny because I actually said it in when I was in the hospital. There was somebody like, "Hey, who's ready to take their lunch?" And then the charge nurse walked by. No one responded. Everybody's doing their thing, and I'm like, "Oh, I think a gay baby was born." And but then I mentioned, "Oh, I don't think it's socially appropriate to say that anymore." And we kind of laughed about it and talked about it. So, yeah, I don't think it's okay to say anymore, man.
I don't know what's okay, what's not okay. Who knows, dude? Who knows?
Yeah, yeah. But if you're offended by that, take your sensitive ass somewhere else. I don't
There
like
you
you
go.
anyway.
Yeah, but to make sure you leave a good comment though, hit the like button.
Hit the like button, yeah. So, guys, thank you for listening. I feel like we talked about some habits and went off topic, and that's the love here. Love, flowing good ideas. Tune in next week. Comment, subscribe, like. We got a lot of good things happening. We'll talk more about Whoop and why we affiliate with them. But me and Peter pick out our affiliates, and we put our time in. We actually choose things that we actually enjoy. I think in the show notes, there's going to be a link if you want to subscribe for Whoop and kind of join our team. That's something that we're working on. And I think we should touch about it a whole other episode and talk about it. So we'll do that.
Yeah,
Anything you want to end on, Pete?
yeah. I mean, guys, just give Upen a try. I mean, if like you hit the link that we provide, you get like 1 month free. If you don't like it with that month, you'll just return it. You get to keep the strap. You just don't get the subscription. You know, it's not you don't pay for the strap. You just pay subscription monthly, which is like $30 a month. But if you want, support us. You get your first month free on us. So just hit the link. And if you don't like it, tell us why you don't like it. And then just throw it away. So guys,
Just throw it away.
that.
We'll see you guys next week.